Hello, my name is Anthony Barafato. I am from the Fort Myers campus. For my research project, I chose to study Parkinson's disease. The reason I chose Parkinson's was because my grandpa, who died before I was born, suffered from the disease. So I thought it would be interesting to see what he went through and if there was any genetic component to this disease. Parkinson's is a pretty well-known disease, and one of the reasons is because of some of the people who have suffered from the disease. So we have Janet Reno, who is the first woman to serve as the U.S. Attorney General. And we have the famous actor Michael J. Fox, who actually started his own foundation for Parkinson's. And last, we have Muhammad Ali, the famous boxer who recently passed away. The exact causes of Parkinson's disease are still unknown, and research is still continuing. However, a lot of research shows that it may be caused by a combination of aging, genetics, and environmental factors. For example, some scientists believe that certain genes are activated by an outside agent such as poisons, pesticides, or a virus that can start the beginning of the disease. The pathological cause of Parkinson's is the deterioration of the dopamine-producing nerve cells. Parkinson's disease affects a variety of different cells, tissues, and organs within the body. The brain, which is made up of nervous tissue, is affected. Specifically, the neurons that produce dopamine are being destroyed. These dopamine-producing neurons are located in a structure called the substantia nigra. Substantia nigra is located in a portion of the brain called the midbrain. Muscle tissue in the body are also affected by the condition. Both striated muscle and smooth muscle cells in the body are affected because they require signals from the dopamine-producing neurons to perform voluntary and involuntary actions within the body. Parkinson's also affects different organ systems in the body. One organ system affected is the nervous system. With dopamine-producing neurons dying in the brain, the nervous system can no longer function as well as it needs to send out signals to the musculoskeletal system. The musculoskeletal system is also affected because the signals being sent to it are being disrupted, so there's less control over muscle movements. Lastly, the digestive system is affected. The digestive system is affected because the smooth muscle within the digestive tract requires the dopamine neurons to function properly. There are 5 general stages in which Parkinson's patients go through. The length of each stage can vary from person to person. Also, certain stages of disorder can be completely skipped over. Before going to the stages of the disorder, there are 2 terms that need to be clarified. The first is a tremor. A tremor is an involuntary shake or quivering. This usually occurs within the hands, arms, or legs. The second is bradykinesia, which just means slowed movement. So here I'm just going to go over each stage of Parkinson's. In the first stage, the tremor and muscle stiffness occurs only on one side of the body. In stage 2, the tremor and stiffness occur on both sides of the body, and this is also where the slowed movement of the body starts as well. So when I said that some stages of the disorder can be completely skipped over, this usually refers to stage 2. So some people may go from having stage 1 symptoms on just one side of their body, and then just start going into stage 3. In stage 3, there is still the tremor, the stiffness, and the slow movement, but also added is difficulty balancing and posture control. So for this stage, there is the risk of falling, and you may notice the person start to hunch over. In stage 4, the muscle stiffness and bradykinesia worsen. This is when someone might start needing assistance with day-to-day activities, such as using the bathroom or bathing themselves. But during this stage, a lot of times the tremor that we see in the early stages may lessen or become completely unnoticeable. And in stage 5, that is when the symptoms can become so bad that a person will probably be restricted to a wheelchair or a bed. There are many different treatment options for Parkinson's. I will be discussing three of the most popular treatments. The first is called Sinemet. Sinemet is a combination of two drugs. The first in Sinemet is levodopa. Levodopa is a natural chemical that when introduced to your brain, it is converted into dopamine. Introducing more dopamine to the body decreases the symptoms of Parkinson's. Unfortunately, levodopa does cause nausea, which brings us to the other drug found in Sinemet, which is called carbidopa. Carbidopa's main function is to prevent or reduce the nausea that is caused by levodopa. Sinemet is a prescribed oral pill, so you take it by mouth a couple times a day. The next treatment is a drug called Duopa, and it is actually fairly new, only being FDA approved at the beginning of 2015. Duopa has the exact same drugs as Sinemet, so it has the levodopa, the carbidopa. The difference is that Duopa is in a gel form, and the gel is administered directly to the small intestines, so there is more of a constant and consistent flow of the medicine to the bloodstream. Dopamine agonists are another popular treatment usually taken orally. They are different from Sinemet because they mimic dopamine and they aren't converted into dopamine. While levodopa can be better at treating motor function, dopamine agonists don't have as much occurrence of wearing off, and they better prevent the on-off fluctuations of motor function. The on-off fluctuations refers to when bradykinesia gets so bad that the victim can sometimes be slowed to a freezing motion for a few seconds or a few minutes. There is no 100% guaranteed way to prevent Parkinson's. Some studies suggest that eating healthy can help protect against the disease. So diets with a lot of fruits and vegetables, high fiber foods, fish, and less red meat would be considered preventative for the disease. There are also other substances that have shown prevention for Parkinson's. Some of these include carnitine, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, vitamin E, caffeine, and then a bunch of other substances as well that have been studied. There are many short-term consequences that come from Parkinson's disease. One is the side effect of the prescribed drugs. For example, like we stated before, is levodopa can cause nausea, but that can be corrected by taking carbidopa. Others include dry mouth, constipation, which all can be corrected by other medications or other remedies. Another short-term consequence is difficulty adjusting to the early stage symptoms of Parkinson's, such as the tremors, the muscle stiffness, and the slow movement. But physical therapy and occupational therapy can help patients to function better with everyday tasks. There are also long-term consequences of Parkinson's disease. One is depression. Suffering from a debilitating disease like Parkinson's can be life-altering and cause depression. Depression can be treated with antidepressants and therapy. Another long-term consequence that we see in the later stages of Parkinson's, mostly in stages 4 and 5, is the loss of mobility. And with this loss of mobility, there's also the loss of a patient's freedom, most likely them needing a full-time caretaker for essential functions like going to the bathroom or getting ready for bed. Parkinson's is not actually a terminal disease because it does not directly cause death. However, complications and symptoms of the disease can be fatal. For example, the loss of motor function can make it harder to chew or swallow, which makes choking a hazard and also can cause pneumonia if food is aspirated into the lungs. Another example would be having a fatal fall from the symptoms tremors and muscle stiffness. In conclusion, the exact cause of the disease is unknown, but research is still ongoing. However, we do know that low dopamine caused by the destruction of dopamine-producing neurons are what cause the effects on the nervous, musculoskeletal, and digestive systems. We also know the 5 stages of the disorder and what symptoms occur in each. There are many